Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to Disc Golf Chat, episode 19, which blows my mind, first of all. And we have 2018 World Champion Paige Shue. Paige, how are you doing?
Ooh, hello, I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here.
First off, thank you for being on. I appreciate it so much. Um,
Yeah.
well, I met you at Worlds this year
Hmm?
in Bedford County. I know it says Lynchburg, but it's in Bedford County.
Okay.
I'm from Bedford County, so I have to defend my little town.
Yeah. I remember that. Worlds, I can't believe it's already been what, six-ish months since that tournament.
Yeah.
It's going
Oh,
fast.
I mean, for me, leading up to that, it seemed like it was forever, and then it seemed like it started and ended like that.
Right. I know that there's always such anticipation from us touring pros about Worlds. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I was like, all right, Worlds is still far away. I still have time. Worlds is still far away. And yeah, and then all of a sudden, boom, came and went. And it was already the second half of the season.
Is it anticipation or anxiety?
Anticipation, not anxiety. At the end of the day, we're kind of used to it, whether it's Worlds or, an A tier, a local A tier.
Mhm.
Um, we're ready and we're prepped, and the nerves hit us no matter where we're at. So it's what we're excited. We're excited because that's the biggest stage and the most important one. So throughout, leading up to it, we're finding our skills and we're excited to showcase them and peak at the right time, which is what I did in 2018.
Hashtag witness.
Woo, woo.
All right. First, I got to say one thing before we really get going. One of my good friends, he's been on the channel tons of times with our encore stuff. Last night, his garage caught on fire, and he lost like 200 discs. Now, these are not his bag discs; these are his backups and discs that he started with and kind of coming along.
Mm-hmm.
But what hurt the most is he lost his Mustang. That was his baby. He loved that car so much.
Oh,
So, Chris, just want you to know we're thinking about you, man. I've got a disc over here that I'm gonna give you. So, Chris. Oh, and if you get a chance, anybody gets a chance, go over to Road Trip and Disc Golf and support him. Awesome guy. Anyway, now, sorry, I had to mention my good friend there.
yeah, of course.
Let's talk about your sponsors right quick. First off, Discraft.
Yeah. Woo.
How long have you been with Discraft?
I'm sorry, what?
How long have you been with Discraft?
This will be my third year.
And this is let's go do the other ones first as well. Squatch.
Yes, I don't know if there's been like an official announcement yet, but yes, I'll be on Squatch again. Woo, you heard it here first.
There you go. There you go. I talked to Isaac Robinson. I was like, hey, Isaac, when you to decide, just come on over.
I know the anticipation for him is killing me.
It's killing everybody.
It is.
Hey, you know what? There's a Robinson on your team.
There is. That was so awesome to see Ezra.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who else you got? Ledgestone.
Ledgestone, yep, going to be sponsored by Ledgestone again. They are one of my biggest supporters, and I love the team. They're so awesome, and they come out with the coolest discs. Pretty much any Discraft disc that you can think of in any plastic, they've probably made it.
I mean, the world disc they came out with. I can never tell which way it's going to be on here, but it's right here. The world. I think that's the Kratos right there.
Yes, good disc.
So that's pretty awesome. And by the way, there will be links down below. She's got some discounts, free shipping on at was it Ledgestone with the free shipping?
Squatch. No. Free shipping with Putt Confidently, which is another one.
I didn't mention that one. I didn't mention that. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah. Putt Confidently. They make the Champ Cap Solo, which is like a training thing you put on the basket, and it makes the hole smaller. So aim small, miss small, and it's supposed to get you more dialed in. And yeah, if you use the code, I think Shue for that one, or Paige, it's in the comments below. It's free shipping for that. But then with Squatch, if you use the code Paige, okay, so Shue for Putt Confidently, and then for Squatch, if you use the code Paige, you get $20 off.
Yes. I went back to our chat and I was going to say that.
Yes, all the things.
Yes. All right. So now the business portion is out of the way. I'm going to ask you this, then I'll go back to what I normally do. When you switched brands, how long did it take you to get used to the different plastics?
Yeah, well, the plastic is whatever. I mean, I love the feel of a disc, and I can appreciate good plastic across any brand. So that was fine. But the molds, yes, the molds, it was tough. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Slowly over time, I couldn't pinpoint. It definitely took a minute because, I used Trilogy for years and years and years. But eventually I just had to, I struggled with trying to make the Discraft discs fly like my old discs instead of, all right, how do these fly? And just grow my game and have my game just change a little bit and make up for it. So once I realized that that was kind of the way to go, I was able to get used to them a little faster. And I mean, definitely by the end of the year, I felt very comfortable with my discs at the end of the first year, which I think was 2023.
Because when I think of the disc, I think to me the hardest one would be when Simon and Eagle, when they left Discmania, went to MVP. I feel like MVP's plastic is the most different. I feel like if you go to other brands, I feel like they're similar. I just feel like they're so different to me.
Yeah, they're unique for sure. But then Simon went on and won 4 Pro Tours. He was with. Is that when he was with MVP?
I think that was the year before. I think he won 1 or 2 last year. I think.
Well, there you go. He at least won an Elite
Series. I think is when he switched at the beginning of 2023. I believe it was.
Okay.
But I mean,
anyways,
he's built different.
Yes, he is.
Next, all right. Now we're going into your career. Before you started playing disc golf, did you have like an athletic background or what?
Yeah, I've been playing disc golf my whole life. So there was no before disc golf.
Oh.
Just always disc golf. But I've always loved sports. My parents have been athletic. My siblings and we played sports. So growing up, I was a little more diverse when I was younger. I played some like little league. I did some soccer. I did some basketball. But once I got into high school, I pretty much full on disc golf. I did do cross country for a couple years. All my friends were doing it, and there's just something to do. But other than that, it's just pretty much been disc golf all the time.
Well, your dad is kind of famous in the disc golf world.
Yes, he is. Yeah. And it's the PDGA, so I don't know if that's good or bad. Their reputation.
So,
but yes, my dad's been with the PDGA for I think a couple of years now. Had a couple different positions within the company, and he seems to be doing good things and enjoying it.
There you go. How did you? I mean, you started from at the beginning. So how did you get started in disc golf? You kind of touched that there.
Yeah.
So, when did you really start playing and start thinking this might be something I might go forward with?
I didn't. So my parents discovered the sport the year I was born. I was born in 96. And so it's been in the family ever since. And so I played it when I was really little, but my parents tell me that I could never focus. I would go run to the nearest playground anytime I saw one. But we moved from Texas to Denver, Colorado when I was 10. And we were near a disc golf course again. And for some reason, our whole family went out. I have an older brother and an older sister. My sister, I think she moved with us, but she's like 8 years older than me, so she doesn't really play much anymore. But my brother and I and my mom and dad, we just all got into disc golf again pretty heavily right away. So when I was 10, I played in my first tournament, and we pretty much discovered the whole pro tour scene at the time, the national tour scene, I should say. So we pretty much knew that it was a legitimate thing since the beginning, and it's kind of always been in my mind. But as I got older, I just realized I was more natural at it because I've been playing so long, and graduating from high school and being in college and making money off of it too. And I don't know, it's just all kind of a blur. I've just always competed, always loved it, always knew I wanted to pursue it full time. I just didn't quite know when or at what capacity, or I don't know. That was never. Nothing was ever planned. That's for sure.
What about like your juniors? How long did you play juniors, and did you like compete like seriously in juniors?
Juniors was a whole different story back then.
Mhm.
I think maybe my first couple tournaments ever I played junior girls, but there was no one in my division. And as I got better, I was starting to compete with the rec women, intermediate women, advanced women in Colorado. So I grew up playing in Colorado. And so I didn't play juniors for very long locally. I played two junior worlds. Was it two? Yeah, I played 2 years of junior worlds. It was 2010 or 2009 was my first one, and then 2010. So the 2 years I played in 2009, it was just me and one other girl in my division. And then in 2010, I think there was three of us maybe. So junior disc golf wasn't much of a thing. I just played that division when I got to travel to go play worlds, once every summer. But I grew up just playing with the local women in the Colorado disc golf community. And they were so awesome. And the whole Mile High Disc Golf Club in Denver, they fostered a lot of like the community and growth in disc golf. And me and my brother, my family, I mean, we were just newbies to disc golf. And now look, my dad is the head of the PDGA. I have a world title, and it was just so simple. We just started playing again together as a family in Denver, and it grew. And it's, the people in Denver fostered that. So anyways, not really a junior scene for me, but the women in Colorado growing up, those were the people I played with the most.
What was the junior scene that much different back then, or did you just not go to many of the events? Because now the junior event is massive out there.
Yeah, I mean, guess we could look it up. There were no junior tournaments besides Worlds. There wasn't no national junior tournaments or I don't know, junior doubles, whatever goes on. It was just Worlds pretty much. So the junior disc golf was small. There was always a decent amount of boys. I remember going to Worlds and there was a ton of junior boys, and my brother played in those divisions and he had 10, 15, 20 competitors, but just a few of us in my division.
I got to ask this question. How do you play and not have your hair up?
Okay, that's old. I used to do that once. I have a daughter now who's almost 4, and now she makes me put my hair up all the time anyway, because when she was a baby, she was grabbing, and now she just, for some reason, loves pulling my hair. So I don't play with my hair down anymore. Now I can't even believe I did that. I can't believe I won Worlds with my hair down. It's crazy. And like when it was windy, did I wear my hair up? I don't know. That's a thing of the past. It's rare that I wear my hair down.
I did not know that. I thought you still did.
Nope. Now all the pictures of me, I got my hair up, and I'm usually in a hat now. I usually wear hats. I'm
trying to put that magazine.
The sun. What do you say?
I said, where did I put that magazine? Oh, by the way, she does have a picture in this month's this quarter, I guess it is, in addition to the PDGA, or is that what it is? PDGA magazine?
Disc Golfer magazine? Am I technically?
Yeah, Disc Golfer magazine.
Yeah.
How did that move? Where did it go?
I wish I had mine nearby. I have one downstairs. But yes, my hair is up and in a hat in that picture.
Okay. That's wild. How long did you play before 2018 on the Pro Tour? And did you play like full seasons back then before that? Because I was looking and looked like 2018 might have been your first like really full season.
Yeah, definitely. 2018 was for sure my first season. I graduated high school in 2015. So before that, I would do summer tours. I don't remember what year that started. My first like tour was like 3 weeks with Eric McCabe. I think it was summer of 2013. So I would play like stints during the summer, but I was in school, typical school. I wasn't homeschooled or anything. So I had to be home. So when I went to college, I actually played a little less because on your own, figuring stuff out. I didn't play quite as much disc golf, but 2018, I don't know why, but I was like really wanting to get back into it again. And I was planning on doing a summer tour. I was enrolled in Emporia State University at the time. So the plan was go to college, play disc golf in the summers like normal, get that degree. That was always something I wanted to do. But the summer of 2018, I started to play really well. And I was studying to be a teacher, and the more classes I took, I don't know, I was just less interested in it, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do anyway. So it all made sense. And so I took time off, and that's when I committed to that. It wasn't even a full year because I was enrolled in school the first semester of 2018. So it wasn't until summer of 2018 I committed full time, and then 2019 was technically my first full year of touring.
Okay.
But I had played in like pro tour events here and there when I could hop on,
Mhm.
not touring full time.
So you played in Colorado. So you played in a lot of elevation there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you played at Emporia. So I'm assuming there's a lot of wind there. So to me, it sounds like you might have had some things to battle through when you go from elevation playing a lot to lower elevation, like especially East Coast disc golf.
Yeah.
So we're very low level over here. So I mean, what did you learn from playing in elevation and high winds to playing in other places?
Yeah, well, I'm fortunate enough to so in general, when you're at higher elevation, discs are a lot more overstable. You don't get as much glide, the air's thinner.
Mhm.
And so I would find when traveling out of state, my discs would go a little straighter and they would turn a little more, but that was something that I was already used to. We'd been playing disc golf forever, and some of my favorite memories growing up are my weekend trips out of state with my parents and my brother to go play tournaments. And so we had driven to Kansas before I left high school. I mean, we had been to so many different states and different elevations. And, when you play disc golf your whole life, making those little adjustments, it's not really a big deal. I mean, you notice them and you can make those adjustments at the moment, but it's not like a big thing. If you're not used to it, though, because, some people don't realize that elevation does make a pretty big difference.
Yeah, because when you're saying that, I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, it takes me a long time to figure out what I'm doing wrong. Ken says, I'm digging the straighter hair, Paige.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ken is also from Allentown, and now he's in Jersey. All right, nice. I'm down here in Virginia. Let's see. Okay. The ace, because I just saw this on YouTube. The ace on 17 at Winthrop. Tell me about that.
That was so crazy. That whole tournament was crazy. Okay, so that was 2022 Throw Pink, and I hadn't been touring. My daughter was born in 2021, so she was just turned 1 or 2. I think she wasn't even 2 yet. So I went into that tournament. I mean, I had practiced, but I wasn't committed to full-time touring that year. So I did, my play wasn't super clean, and so I didn't have a lot of expectations. But I think I won qualifying. So that was the first year they had the Monday qualifying for FPO, and me and Sarah Cunningham tied. So anyways, I was surprised to get in. At first, I'm like, I don't know if I'll get in. I'm just going to try. And so I got in. So that was great. And then the first 3 rounds, I shoot so well. And I'm like blowing my mind. Like, how are you playing so well? You haven't been practicing. This is better than anything spelt and whatever. And then we get to the final round and it all comes crashing down. I see. Anyways, so yeah, throughout that round, I just tried to get something going, but y'all know how Winthrop is, like OB, windy, OB, miss putt. And next thing I know, it's horrible. And I was like 7 or 8 over or something. And I remember hole 16, there's a long walk between 16 to 17.
Yep.
16, I got a really dumb bogey and I was livid. Ooh, I was so mad. And I remember just sulking on the walk between 16 and 17 and just not happy, letting myself be angry. But once you get to the tee pad, you got to reset yourself. And I actually wasn't trying to go for the ace. I had been early releasing all day, and I told myself, don't early release. Like, you've been early releasing all day. This is the island hole. Stick it on the island. And I early released it anyway. And it went into the basket. And while it was fine, I was like, no way that's going to stick. I mean, that was my first tournament ace ever in my million years of playing. And it's always close, but never sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And close and never sticks. So I'm watching it. And I'm like, that looks beautiful, but that's not going to stick. Like, it's not going to stay. Something's, it's going to move a little right in this. And then it went in, and, my reaction is part of why it's so viral. It was so genuine. Like,
Mhm.
I just didn't think it was going to go in, and it even hit fast, and you can see it in the video, but luckily it was just.
It hit and had like a spin and went and dropped in. I was like, wow.
Oh my gosh, my heart just like leapt out of my chest, and it was just so exciting, and I knew what it meant in the moment because I wasn't playing well, and I wish it would have been more meaningful in terms of my placement, but like I said, I'd been playing bad, so I had dropped anyway. But yeah, when it hit, just blew my mind, and is forever obviously one of my top disc golf memories. And it's cool that it was on video. Jeff Panis was behind me, so perfectly, and everything about it was such a dream.
Jeff, aka Wombat. I know him by that on Instagram, Wombat. And let's go back a little bit to Worlds, 2018 Worlds. Going into the tournament, how are you feeling about your game? I know that's a long time ago.
I know, but think about it often.
Yeah.
No, my game felt great. To be honest, I didn't think I was going to win. I'd been playing great and consistent, but I just hadn't won anything. I had a lot of second place finishes, and I don't know. I was just on tour, and it was World Week, and so I just kept going and never gave up, and it ended up obviously working out. But I just remember thinking my game feels good. Keep practicing, stick stick to your routine, but you never think it's going to happen to you. Yeah. I don't know. I was like, I think I told Grady, because that's kind of when we started talking and dating. I was like, I think I can do a top 5. Like, that is a really good goal. I think if I play really well, I can do a top 5. So to win was obviously awesome and amazing. And yeah.
All right. So, first round, gosh, I can't remember who was on featured card because I was just watching it. But then you had a good first round. And you come around to the second round where you're on featured card or lead card at this time now. What do you think about that?
I was stoked. I mean, that's always the goal. And I had felt good about my round 1. I could tell how I was feeling and how I was scoring against my card mates, and I knew it felt pretty good. So to head into the round, I still wasn't in the lead. Heading into round 2, I still wasn't in the lead. I think Rebecca had the lead, Rebecca Cox. But it felt great. I mean, lead card, it's a great place to be. Always the goal. And so, I was optimistic.
That is a nice place to be, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it could be in 58th place, but I'll take first.
Yes.
Let me see. I'm actually going to find it over here because actually I just looked at it. Okay, let's see. Round 1. Rebecca was 1 under. You were +2, only 3 back.
That sounds right.
Rebecca, awesome.
Yes, she's the bomb.com.
I haven't heard that in a while. Round 2, you come out with a not too shabby round, 5 under.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was the best by 5 shots.
Yeah, that round was awesome. I remember it felt so easy. I was just doing my thing. I was just throwing the shots I needed and making, my circle ones and a couple bonus putts here and there, and just keeping it in bounds out at Fox Run does wonders. And it ended up working out.
Let me go back to round 1, Brewster's Ridge. What do you think about that course?
Yeah, that tough course. Now, back in 2018, we didn't have a lot of the tee pads that are used now for the women weren't used back then. So we had a lot of the longer tee pads compared to now. But I remember it being long and wooded and being like, all right, just keep it clean here, throwing a lot of slower speed discs. And I do love the course though. I mean, Fox Run and Brewster are easily in my top 5-10 courses ever. But Brewster's fun. It has fun lines. I like that. It requires all different types of shots and beautiful views. It's Vermont.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful there. I haven't been there, but when I've seen it on TV, I was like, man, this just seems like a great place to go.
Yeah.
The round 2 was Fox Run, which that's more of the open course.
Yeah.
So do you like it that way, where you have that one very technical, and then the second one just let it rip courses?
Yes, I actually do. Although, I think the Pro Tour and the Elite Tour in general is good at adding OB on the wide open holes, so you at least have to control it. But yeah, I am. It's crazy. So back in 2018, that time, I was definitely a better woods golfer. I was able to keep it in the fairway, hit my lines, and get pars on those harder holes. Now I'm a thrower. I love more wide open courses. I score better on them. I love just letting them fly. Something's changed in between then and now. But yeah, Brewster is such a great compliment to Fox Run. Brewster, I was throwing slower speed stuff, keeping it in the middle. Fox Run, I remember using more of my distance drivers and hitting more different shot shapes with them.
See, then round 3, you were 4 over again back at Brewster's, that tight course. And Paige made up, no, I'm wrong. Sarah Hokum was now in second.
Yeah.
Paige Pierce was in second after 2 rounds. She had a rough day that day. She was 10 over that day.
I do remember that day. I remember she didn't play that great. I do remember round 3. Just making a couple mistakes that just cost me. There were 2 holes where a bad drive cost me a double instead of a par. So boom, boom. That's 4 strokes right there. Just very small. I remember thinking, okay, I feel good. A couple of my mistakes added up really quickly, but they weren't bad. And I think I had only lost 1 stroke off my lead. I don't remember who it was ahead of what, but I remember thinking if I lose 1 stroke each round, I can still win. Moving forward. I'm like, if I can keep this up and only lose 1 stroke around, I could still win this.
And then let's see, round 4. You were 5 over in round 4, and Paige was 2 under. Wow. Sarah Hokum was 8 over that round.
Yeah. That was a crazy day. Okay, I had a lot of bad luck that day, and I know that sounds whatever, but it's true. You can go back and watch Joe Mez. My layups would stand up and roll away. I mean, it took me the wheels really fell off there the first 3, 4, 5, 6 holes. I remember tearing up a little bit. My mom was on the bag, and she was like, "Don't give up, come on," and she was encouraging me, and it really helped, of course. And so I just kept going, and the round ended up being okay, but it was those first 5, 6 holes where I just was throwing OB and getting bad rollaways and one thing after another. But it's perseverance. Anyone watching, never give up. You literally never know what'll happen in disc golf. I mean, it's insane. You just foot on the gas pedal and always believe, and it's the long game.
It's actually comforting to hear you say that, because as an amateur, like me and one of my friends, we were playing the other day. I swear he just threw it straight into the woods repeatedly, and the disc somehow would be in the middle of the fairway when we would get up there. I would throw it in the fairway. It would get up and roll into the woods where I wouldn't have a shot.
Of course. It always happens that way.
But then the next day I go, I'm getting all the breaks. So it's like, I always like the disc golf gods are looking on me, good one day. And they're like, you got a little too cocky, didn't you? Smack me back down to reality.
Yeah.
Now this part, okay, this is the part I really wanted to get to.
Okay.
The end of round 4, you leave the course, you have a 5-shot lead. I mean, what's going through your head? I mean, how is sleeping that night? I know I'd be like, oh gosh,
exactly how you would expect, literally, just like that. Yeah, having 5 strokes after round 4. I mean, whoo! It still blows my mind thinking about it right now. Again, I didn't think I really was going to win, and it was just so crazy. And I remember at one point my dad was like, what would you say if someone told you were going to have a 5-stroke lead going into the final round? And I'm like, I would say I'm not going to believe you. But no, Fall Fest was that night, which was like a thing that they do on the Smugglers Notch Resort for the resort, but the disc golfers come and join too. There's popcorn and fireworks and all that good stuff. And I remember going to that night to help me relax. I'm like, all right, let me keep my mind off of things. Let's go over there. And so I walked around. I spent some time with Grady and just kept myself kind of distracted. But then, later that night, once it was time to go to bed, I mean, my thoughts were running through my head. And I'm like, okay, what outfit am I going to wear? What socks do I want to win worlds in? What underwear and bra? Like what shirt? What pant? Just planning everything and just being optimistic. And I'm like, okay, 5 strokes is a lot, but it's also not a lot, especially at Fox Run. And I remember, I think round 4, Paige Pierce had beaten me by 5 strokes in that round alone. So
no, 7 strokes.
7?
Oh. Yes, you were 5 over. She was 2 under.
See, yeah. So anything can happen, and I knew 5 strokes was a nice cushion, but nothing's a guarantee. It definitely made going into the final round more match play from the beginning, and having 5 strokes. Luckily, I don't remember how close it actually got, but thank goodness it never came down to like, I got to win this. I got to make this putt to win worlds. I had a comfortable lead, throughout the round, and that helped. If it was closer, who knows if I would have been able to win and execute up against someone like Paige, who has done it a million times. But it worked out the way it did, and I had my lead, and it just made the final round just that much easier. After the first, I'd say fourth to a third of the round, I was like, okay, I'm probably going to win. After I got through that first half of like, just seeing how my game was feeling, seeing how she was playing. Really it was me versus Paige, because I think 3rd place was significantly behind us. And so it made it easy. And I had, my mom on the bag, and my dad was there, and it was just perfect. And my mindset was everything I needed to shoot well. My final round was like 990, and I threw it OB like an idiot on the last hole. That could have saved me 2 strokes. I could have won by more. It could have been rated higher. But anyways, obviously I'm stoked with everything that happened. World titles aren't easy to come by. There's women who have been touring for years, and they haven't won a world title. So I'm grateful. I never take it for granted. And it's disc golf. And, here I am 6 years later, and, I'm not as good as I once was. And I'm on the journey to getting back, and life's crazy. And so looking forward to hopefully a chance at winning another world title.
Let's post this comment right here. Both the ace and world's reaction were some of the best ever in disc golf. I teared up when she hugged her mom. She and her mom hugged, but same thing.
Yeah, that was see, what was different about worlds is, like I said, I really after hole 15, I think it was, I pretty much knew I was going to win. That was that one tunnel, like forehand hole. After that hole, I think I had like 8 strokes, something like that. And so I felt peace and at calm. And so going down the green to 18, I had already known that I was going to win. And so it hits different versus when that ace hit, like I said, I didn't think it was going in. So it would just boom, all at once the emotion hit. And my final round was building up on the last few holes. And it was obviously amazing to have my mom and dad there on the bag. They've been playing forever too. And they've seen me. And like I said, I've been playing forever, and I've been competing in tournaments. So there were times growing up where I didn't go to sleepovers or didn't go to the mall with my friends, or I had to say no to my friend's birthday party here for tournaments. And so as cliche as it sounds, for all that to pay off in that moment and to have my parents there, I mean, and it's on Jomez. I can go back and rewatch it anytime I want. I do probably about once or twice a year. I like going back to relive and be re-inspired and believe that anything could happen,
Who did the Jomez commentating for that last round?
It was Lisa Fakis and Madison Walker.
Mad Walk. Lisa Fakis is awesome, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how she does it. Her hat's perfectly flat. I don't know how she does that. My friend Chris, who I mentioned earlier, he's got power, and he is glad he could tune in. Thank you, Chris.
Yay.
I like this comment here. Everyone knows Shue is the best Paige. My real. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Hey, what's it like though, competing head to head with Paige Pierce?
Yeah.
You kind of, I mean, there's a 3-year stretch where Paige won every year, and it just happened to be Pierce, Shue, Pierce.
Right. Yeah. It was, I've competed with Paige a lot, and she's fierce and she's competitive, and she really, wants to win. And that round, it was, we both.
Paige is fierce.
There you go. Fierce Pierce. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. We kept it lighthearted. She's known me since I was young, and so she'd seen me grow up in the sport, and she was excited and proud too. So she was cheering me on, but she also, of course, wanted to win and break the cycle of only on the odd years.
Yep.
Whatever's going on with her. But of course, it's awesome and it's amazing to go head to head, with the greatest at the time and greatest of all time. And it's inspiring, and her game is incredible, and she's intimidating when she bangs those long putts and throws 100 feet past you.
Yes. Yes.
But obviously I had a 5-stroke lead going into the last round. My strategy was working better than her strategy at that point. So just trusting that and realizing that. And then, that iconic scene of her giving me a hug on hole 16. I think she kind of knew at that point, you never want to give up, but I think I had 8 strokes, something like that. So she was encouraging, of course, and was crying happy tears and sad tears for me, and gave my parents hugs. And yeah, she was great.
Paige is absolutely awesome. I will tell you this. When it comes to Paige Pierce, I have predicted 2025, she's going to get another major.
Ooh, I could see it. I mean, she won that 4-rounder last year.
Well, my thought was like, she's back from that injury. I think she's had time to heal from it. I think the mind is back. I think I feel like she's got one this year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
What's the biggest difference playing in, say, 2012, 2013 to playing in 2024?
Holy cow. 2012 to 2013.
Yeah, I'm just ballparking time.
Yeah.
Early years, like discs, I mean, just travel, I mean, just everything, to now being a mom, married, out there trying to find time to play.
Yeah, I mean, drastically different time period, lifestyle, all that stuff. But 2012 was actually my first pro worlds. I moved up to pro that year. But yeah, I mean, a lot less women playing, still a lot amazing women, a lot less, smaller bags, less companies involved. I don't know. The traveling, it still feels the same. In 2013, I think was my first year touring. I toured with Eric McCabe, and we caravaned with like Ragna, Paige Pierce a little bit, some other players, and it's fun. And you're traveling, going to new places, and you're practicing and experiencing the area. And here we are 10 years later, I'm doing the same thing just with my husband and my baby instead of tour friends and stuff. But, there's just more women on the scene, more opportunities. I think the disc golf is better, all the things.
Yeah, one of the things I was thinking is when I really first got playing was 2020, but I'm like a history nerd when it comes to something I'm interested in, like comic books. I don't know if you can see Catwoman back here behind me and Harley Quinn disc right here. But when I get into something, I want to know the past of it as well. It's like, so when I started into disc golf, I was like, what's the history of it? And one of the things I've noticed is the scores in particular have significantly dropped.
Yeah.
Was it just because y'all were playing more of the FPO courses, the discs themselves, or just fitness and everything that goes into the game now?
I mean, I would say all of that except the discs. Sorry. I think the difference is definitely the courses. We back then a lot less FPO pads, a lot of the same guys pads. Even like I said, 2018 to 2024 GMC, the courses up in Vermont, tons of shorter pads and not as difficult lines to hit, and all that stuff. So that, and then more people are better. And so it's making more people get even better. And so all of that, all put together. But definitely probably the biggest influence on that is the course design. Women are now being at least thought about when designing these courses, and big tournaments are putting in their bids to, be on the pro tour.
Speaking of that, did you play in the 2023 U.S. Women's in Burlington?
Yes, I did.
To me, that was my first pro tour event to go to. And I will tell you, just being there on that course and seeing all the women playing I think they said from 7 to 70, they have people playing.
That sounds right.
How motivating is that for you as a female?
Oh man, it's awesome. It's extremely motivating. Like I said, when I was growing up, there was a few juniors. I mean, there were no junior girls in Colorado pretty much. I know Kona's from Colorado, but I don't think she really got into it until I was a little bit older. But this year's U.S. women, I mean, the junior divisions are packed full. Blows my mind. And it's awesome and amazing because disc golf has changed my life so much, and I've experienced so many cool things with it. And, you know, grow the sport is a real thing. We want to share it. There's so much love and excitement and passion and women, not just for juniors, for women. I mean, it's disc golf is for everybody.
Yes.
And if you're nervous and embarrassed, you don't have to go with your guy and their boyfriends, or you can go by yourself. You can go with your girlfriends. It's casual. I mean, you know this stuff. So it's great that people are seeing that and they're investing in it, and they see that, oh, there's a competitive side. And there's a lot of people who are competitive, but they grow out, you know, they're too old for school and they don't really do that outlet anymore. But seeing that disc golf is growing in general, and then particularly the women and the juniors, and honestly, all those junior girls are scaring us, FPO, and we see the shots they're nailing and the putts they're making, and we know we got to step up our game. So it's motivating in that way too. And by the way, that U.S. women's in Burlington was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish, I mean, I'm sure they will never do this, but to me, when I talked to my friend Brooke Johnson and Rebecca Minnick, two really good friends of mine, and they played down there, and they were like, it was so amazing because she was like, they were like, I finished my round, then I could go over and watch the pros just like literally across a little path. And I could play. And I talked to other players, and they're like, I wish they would be able to do that, have like multiple courses on a property for that event.
Right.
Because many of them are, it's like the pros are on one course, you got to go across town for another one. Just amazing event. Amazing.
Oh, yeah. That venue is mind blowing.
Yeah. I got to get back down there and play the regulator again. My shoulder was messed up, so I only played the first 6 holes, and I was like, man, it's a fun course. Really difficult though.
It is. It's so, yes, it's unique. The shots are fun. The distances are reachable. The shot shapes are doable. It is, though, punishing, and you got to be clean.
Yes. So, I mean, there were some holes on that was way tight. It was a very new course, though, at that time, too. It was
right. Yeah.
Let's see. Where was this question at? Big D asked this question. What are your touring plans for 2025?
Yeah, so I will be back on the tour. I have a tour card. Right now, we signed up for 8 of the events. I say we, my husband and I, Grady. I think 8 of the events so far, and then we're planning on GMC and MVP, hopefully making the points and getting in. So not playing every pro tour. It'll be pretty much like last year. But our beginning, I think we're playing the first 5 or 6 pro tours, but then once the West Coast swing happens, we don't travel that far. It's just a lot. So we stick to local A tiers here on the East Coast. And then once the tour kind of comes back over, like Idlewild, Ledgestone, Iglo, those kind of swings, then we start playing those again. So that'll be the plan. Yeah.
You'll make it up to Toboggan?
Yes. I love Iglo.
Oh, that's Iglo. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking that was somewhere else. Brain cramp. What's your favorite course?
Yeah. So my answer is Fox Run, because that's where I won Worlds. I mean, that course is awesome. Anyways, I love the shots. I love the views. Brewster's pretty, but you don't get to quite see the air as much. But Fox Run, so many breathtaking views. And obviously my awesomest disc golf memory is at Fox Run. But it's hard to say. This probably sounds bad. I've been playing disc golf my whole life. I couldn't tell you how many courses I've played. It's hard for a disc golf course to impress me, because it's like, okay, here's a hyzer, here's a backhand, here's this. So nothing. Maple Hill is awesome. Really, if I like a course a lot, it's probably because of what's around it. And the golf is fun. So Fox Run would be my answer. Fox Run in Brewster in Vermont. Maple Hill is fun. W.R. Jackson before it got ruined by the pine beetles and then the hurricane, and who knows when that'll be back to normal. But that's up there too.
Yeah, that's a course after Paige Pierce won. Me and one of my friends were like, man, we got to get down there and play that course. And then seeing Kristen come back the next year and get that win, not going to lie, teared up a little.
Oh, in such an epic way too. Like
Mhm.
so dominant. So what a way to like never give up. Again, people never give up, even if it's a year later.
That's right. Are you playing Worlds this year in Finland?
I don't know. Not 100% sure on that one yet. It's very expensive, just flights and an FPO. If you don't play great, it's expensive, and I don't know. We'll see. Nothing's 100% sure yet.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Did you have any the pro tour, like the female players, when you came up that really influenced you, or maybe gave you a lot of good advice and helped you out when you're coming up?
Yeah. Yeah. So I have so many disc golf idols, so many women I looked up to. You know, back in the day, it was Valerie Jenkins, Des Redding. Paige was new to the scene. Paige Pierce, you know, was a fan of her ever since I was a little girl. Liz Lopez, I know you and I were talking about her. I loved Liz Lopez. I loved her throw. Oh, she was an OG. Awesome. So yeah, those were the girls that, like, when I would travel out of state and I would start to play FPO, I finally was able to meet them, and I would talk to them, and you know, they're so down to earth. You know, disc golf was a lot smaller back then, and they were so supportive and encouraging. And you know, Paige Pierce, I ended up touring with her for a year or two, in and out, you know, when I was in school still. And so she was helpful along the way. Ragna Bigda, some people maybe don't know her, but she was really big in the scene back in the 2010s ish. She was so funny. One of my favorite disc golfers ever. I'm so sad that she doesn't play anymore, but you know, we all have other dreams and stuff. And those are a few that stand out. They are, yeah, I looked up to them, whether it was who they were or their game. I mean, we can all appreciate amazing throw and amazing putt, you know, no matter who it is throwing it.
Yep, exactly. We'll run through some players. Now, I've got a long list of players. Some of them I hope you've played with. Some of them you've actually mentioned a little bit.
Okay.
If you got like a little story or something about them, because I always love hearing these things.
Okay.
We'll start with Elaine King. I don't know if you've gotten to play with her or her
Yeah,
mother.
I've played with Elaine King for a while now. We've done like this clinic together in North Carolina here for some women, so you know, who are new to disc golf. But other than that, the rounds I played with her, I enjoy it. She's super smart. She's a scientist, so she's really interesting to talk to, and she's fun to watch.
I did not know she was a scientist.
Yes, like a chemist or something. She's really smart.
Kind of up there like Calvin. He's like
Yeah.
like a something like that. I think Nate Sexton or something like that.
I don't know, but that wouldn't surprise me.
You just mentioned Des. I met Des down at Throw Pink. What an amazing lady she is.
Yeah, Des is awesome. I do have a story with her. So I don't know what year. It was my freshman year of high school. So it had to have been 2011. She came to a local A-tier in Colorado, Fort Morgan. Man, what's that tournament called? I can't remember what it's called, but it was an A-tier that some of the top pros would come to back in the day. And she came to it. She was signed up, and a couple of us other Colorado chicks. Calvin is a chem engineer. Yeah.
Yes. I remember. I mean, right after you put that, I was like, that's what he was. Yes.
Yeah. So Des came to play this A-tier, and she was awesome and loved playing with her. And she was significantly rated higher than me, world champion. I never dreamed that I would beat her. I was a freshman in high school, and she didn't play great that weekend, and she played pretty significantly below her rating. And I played significantly above my rating, and I ended up beating her, which was crazy, you know, just blew my mind. And she's sweet. I love Des. We've been good friends ever since. Love catching up with her. I love how passionate she is about disc golf and all they're doing with Edge. I mean, it's clear that, you know, getting discs in the hands of kids is the best way to grow the sport.
Yep.
So, you know, all the hard work her and Jay do for the sport is awesome too. But yeah, Des is amazing. And so because I won that tournament, I was able to qualify for the USDGC that year, because it was the first year it was performance flight. And like I said, I averaged like way above my rating. And so, you know, it's like it's based off of how well you play compared to your rating. anyway, so with all that, I was able to qualify for my first ever USDGC in 2011, and I was the only girl there. And my dad and I and my grandma went. We took a trip out there, and I got to play with Barry Schultz on that trip, and all of that stemmed from beating Des Reddy, one of my idols growing up. And I'm sure she didn't love this little punk girl beating her. But she was kind.
She's competitive. She is competitive.
Right. But she was kind, and obviously we're good friends today, and I'm inspired by everything she does on the course and off the course. It's cool to see, all these older pros who did the full tour, and now they're doing other things in disc golf. It's cool to see what they're becoming and what there is in disc golf.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be cool, when us current touring pros are that age, older, 40s, 50s, what will be possible. And yeah, it's cool.
All right, I'm gonna get off this for 1 second because this question came and I thought this is a great question. Best disc golf snack.
Ooh, I'm not picky. Your typical protein bar, granola bar, applesauce packet. I munch on those because my daughter has those, so they're easy to toss in the bag. Just something that's healthy and filling. It's crazy how many people on tour will rip out a bag of candy in the middle of the round and be like, "Hey, you want some candy?" Like, in the middle of a round while we're trying to compete and play. So protein, just your generic protein bar, something filling to sustain you. Make sure you eat before your rounds, because the worst thing is when you're like low on food and you're fatigued in the last 5-6 holes, you just can't get stuff going.
Yeah, I have found I can't eat too much before a round. Then I feel all fatigued at the beginning of the round, but at the end.
That too, it's tough. For morning tea times as FPO, we all talk about it. We struggle because it's so early, and eating first thing in the morning, and then going to warm up at 7:30. A lot of us drink smoothies. A lot of us don't even eat. It's tough. It's really tough figuring that out. But you definitely need to be nourished on the course.
Yeah, I hit Bojangles before an early tournament. When I get the bow rounds, carbs and those things make me through the round.
I love bow rounds.
Let's see, Valerie Jenkins.
Yes, she stopped touring when I started because she didn't even play in 2018. What do you say?
She was scared.
She was scared.
She knew what was coming.
So I don't have a lot of memories playing with her. I mean, I have, but nothing comes to mind. But I do remember my first Worlds I ever went to was the 2009 World Championships in Kansas City. I played junior girls 16 and under. And that was the year her and Avery won together. And that was so epic being able to watch that in person, because at the time my brother and I were playing, and we were like, one day we're going to be like Val and Avery. But anyway, so she had won, and we were walking the final 9 watching the FPO. And I had one of the girls that I played with in my division. Her name was Nicole Cazares. She's a junior girl from Texas. She'd known Valerie, and like most pro disc golfers, when they meet a junior girl, they're encouraging and stuff. And so Nicole was like, "Go, I know Valerie. She's so sweet. You should go try to talk to her. Go talk to her." And I don't know how old I was, 10, 11, I don't know, really young. And I'm so nervous, and she encourages me. And finally I go up to her and I'm like, "Hi, I'm like a huge fan. It was awesome seeing you in Worlds." And I told her, I want to be a world champion one day. And she was like, "Hey, it's nice to meet you. Just keep on pushing, keep playing disc golf. You never know what'll happen. Just keep loving the sport and see what happens." And she was just so nice. And it was right after she had just won her world title, and this little girl came up to her and was nagging her while her brother was on his way to win his first world title. So that just goes to show how awesome Valerie is. Mm-hmm. And actually, another memory, I needed a ride once in 2015 from a course for the World Championships, from a course to the next one, and Valerie offered to give me a ride, and she gave me a ride, and she was so kind. So Valerie's great.
Yeah, it's funny because at Throw Pink, at the end of the USDGC, after Nate Doss had finished his round, Nate, Valerie, and Avery are standing there talking, and she has their baby with them. And I just kept looking because I wanted to go say hello to them, but I'm like, that's family time. I don't want to bother them.
Yeah.
He kind of slowly walked down to the fence right there on 18. I was like, I'm going to say hello.
Yeah, you got to do it.
So nervous. They were all so nice. And Avery, is a stout dude.
Yeah, huge.
I mean, I remember seeing him back in the day on video and stuff, and I was like, when beside him, like, wow, that's when I say stout, I don't mean fat. I mean he's just like a big guy.
He's a big guy. Yeah.
Well, I got to run through these kind of quick because I got a whole bunch of them.
I know. I'm sorry. I chat a lot too. I'll be fast.
Hey, that helps the podcast. Not gonna lie. Let's go with Sarah Hokum,
Yeah.
the forehand queen.
And who? Oh, forehand queen.
Yeah, the forehand queen.
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing with Hokum forever. It was cool watching her win Worlds in 2012. She's one of my favorite people to play with. She's always encouraging. I love having long conversations with her. She has a lot of knowledge about disc golf and has such creative ideas, since she's been on the road for so dang long. But yeah, she's great. Honestly, I feel like we've hung out. I mean, she was invited to my wedding. She was at my wedding. I have a million stories about Sarah and I.
Yeah, we have to have a part 2.
We do have to have a part 2, but Sarah's so awesome and so funny. And yeah, forehand queen and backhand queen now. She's been friggin' blowing my mind with these backhand lines she's hit.
Her backhand has improved a lot. It reminds me a lot of Owen Scoggins, how Owen's forehand was just absolutely deadly. In like the last year or so, her backhand is just amazing.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So if there's, you know what, I'm going to skip the rest of these because we're kind of running short on time. But if there's one player you could take one part of their game and make it your own, and then you still have the rest of your game, what would that be, and who would you take it from?
I mean, putting is my answer. Whoever's the best putter. I guess I saw that stat that Holly Finley was the best C1 putter.
Uh-huh.
I would probably say Owens putting.
Yeah.
Owens Scoggins, I would say. I would take her putting and my everything else, and I feel like I could be so good. I just got to get the disc in the basket. It's so crazy, your game kind of goes up and down. It's like when some parts work, some don't, and then you finally get these parts working, but then this, and my putting is definitely so inconsistent. And I practice, and I'm just struggling to get that consistency. So if I had that consistency like Owen, especially from flipping circle 3, mean, outside circle 2, I feel like a lot of FPO players would be unstoppable with that type of putting.
Yeah. I just don't know how she gets that power behind it. And the disc is doing this the whole way.
I know. She's awesome. She's incredible. And she practices all the time, 24/7. I mean, at any of these pro tours, and I've been walking around like the fly marts and stuff late at night, or not necessarily late at night, but, in the evening hours, way after FPO are done. And I'll see her at a practice basket practicing. So she puts in the work. It makes sense.
Yeah, I was talking to Jennifer Allen, and I was asking her about Owen's elbow from last year. She goes, "Oh yeah, it was just because she was like practicing like 1,000 putts every day."
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I think it was literally. She's always practicing. Her and Justin. That's all they do. And Justin has his job too, and they're just full committed. And Owen's attitude helps, obviously. If you look at the top FPO players and their attitude, optimistic, confident, whatever happens, they just keep going forward. So Owen's a great player to look up to. Putting, throwing, attitude, everything.
And after you got that ace, first person to give you a hug was Owen Scott. And that surprises no one ever.
I know. She was definitely the most hype. I remember Missy was like, dang, sick. And I think Haley was just blown away. But Owen was like, woo, it's so high. Match my energy. And actually, it's funny. You might be able to tell in some video. We like jumped together and our knees, like, boom, hit our knees hit really hard together. And it hurt me a little, but whatever, it was fine. But I think it really hurt Owen's knee. The last 2 holes, because she didn't finish well. And she was rubbing it. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And we apologized for bumping into each other. But she was just as excited as me when I aced.
I walked the practice round with one of my friends at Throw Pink this year, and Owen caught up to us on 17. She just places 4 forehands just back to back to back on that green.
Yeah.
And then on 18, she just laces 4 backhands right down the middle of that fairway. And I was like, you could put a blanket on all 8 of these shots on the 2 things. Like, that's insane. That is insane. What a talent.
Yep.
Okay, last question. Actually, I don't have a question over here, but I'm going to ask. This is my last question. I've got two from that. When you finally decide to shut it down on the Pro Tour, and if they said you get to pick your final card, who do you want to be on the card with you?
Oh, snap. Final
You
card.
get that reaction when I ask this question every time.
That's hard. Okay, so I'm thinking of like touring FPO players. Not necessarily my dream card because I have some FPO players that they don't tour, but would definitely be on my card.
Mhm.
But touring players, definitely Madison Walker. He's awesome.
Well, the Chinese honk.
Hong Kong, yes, I love hockey. Who did I say? Madison. Oh, Danny Clyden. Some of y'all might not know her. She doesn't usually finish like super up towards the top, but she tours full time, and she had a good season last year. But I love spending time with Danny. She's so funny, and her caddy Maddie. They're awesome. So Madison, Danny, and the last one.
You said the caddy Maddie. I don't know. That made me laugh.
Maddie.
That's not a shot. It just struck me as funny. I apologize.
Maddie caddy. That fourth spot, I don't know. Deanne Carey's up there. Man, I love playing.
Hilarious.
Deanne, yeah, she's got to be up there. But right now, those are my top four.
Okay, what if they're not touring?
Oh, not touring. Okay, so my favorite FPL player ever to play with is Amy Lewis from Oregon, and a lot of people know who that is, especially in the Northwest. Northwest. She does a lot for her local disc golf community. She runs kids leagues and women's leagues. Anyway, she's so funny, like the funniest person you can ever imagine. And she loves disc golf, and I love playing with her. So she's up there. Another friend of mine, Amy Vrana. She lives in South Dakota. I actually toured with her for a little bit in 2018. She's a really good friend of mine. I'd love to play with. She'd be on a forever card. And then, honestly, probably Maddie or Danny or Madison, they would make the list anyway.
There you go.
But shout out to my girls, to my two Amy's. They are so awesome. And what's great about disc golf is you meet people from everywhere, but also it's so sad because they don't tour, and I literally only see them maybe once a year, once every 2 years. So, yeah.
All right. From the chat. Have her Discraft stuff. It is magic. I swear. Ace for the first time with the Buzz SS.
Woo! They are magic. And you do ace with this because with Paige Shue discs, anyone watching, because Chris Dickerson had one of my Buzzes and he aced. And Paul Macbeth had one of my Buzz SSs and he aced. And by the way, Paul does bag one of my Buzz SSs. So the GOAT throws it. Y'all should throw it.
There you go.
But yes, that's so awesome that you aced with it. That's amazing.
That is awesome. She sent me one, and I'm going to be testing this out very, very soon. Can't wait.
Yay.
Any signature tour series disc in the future?
So this year, all my signature tour fundraiser type stuff will be through the Letchstone website again. But right now you can get stuff. There's still some of my stuff right now from the past couple seasons. I have some Buzz SSs, cicadas, heats, regular Buzzes. There's a lot of different things, but I don't remember exactly what it says in my contract, but I think I get 3-ish discs every year. So keep an eye out this year throughout the year on the Ledgestone website. I'll be posting about it. I'm sure I'll have a special run. Hopefully, I'm trying to get a run of Kratos's because I love the Kratos. Hopefully, maybe some Forces. I don't know. We got to see, but at some point, it will be this year. It'll be on the Ledgestone website, and you'll see my social media post about it.
All right. And the last question, Ken, thank you for the question. Can Paige think of anyone who plays faster than her?
I don't know.
I would tell you one guy, Jim Conrad, James's dad.
Okay.
I was at the Battle of Bedford. I swear he just looked, grabbed a disc, and chucked it. I was like, oh my gosh. I looked for a second, and the disc was in the air. I was like, what happened?
Well, actually, maybe Cam Todd, that brings to mind maybe Cam Todd. Some of y'all, he's an older disc golfer. He's known for he marks his mini and he looks down and then looks up and putts. And he was a pretty good putter back in the day. I don't think did he win a world? I don't think he ever won worlds, but he was a top player and he was very fast. I like playing fast for the most part. I usually don't overthink. But honestly, over the last year, I've been trying to slow down because there are so many things to think about on a shot, and you don't want to not think of something. You feel good about your shot and you throw it, and this thing happens, and you're like, man, I didn't even think about that. And I found myself doing that a lot, especially when I was really playing fast. So I'm a little slower than I used to be, but I still feel like I play fast.
Yeah, I'm the slow guy on the card because I'm like, okay, there's a gap there. Do I have something over here? Should I throw over here? Which disc should I use? Yeah, I'm that guy.
Well, to each their own, whatever it takes to get the disc in the basket.
Hey, I won the first round of the our winter league, so it's my first time winning.
Hey, very
sanctioned event, so I finally won the sanctioned event.
There you go. Congratulations.
Golf clap.
Brava.
All right. Okay, that's all we got today. I'm sorry, I'm 5 minutes over. I apologize for that.
You're good. I wish I could be longer, but y'all, I have my daughter's bedtime is 8 and it's 8:06.
Thank you again, and everyone, check out all of her links. We got them all down below. A lot of awesome stuff. So definitely get you some discounts, get you some free shipping. So definitely check out the links down below. Anything else?
Yeah, just I'll shout out my sponsors again one more time. Y'all know I couldn't follow my dreams if it wasn't for them. Having the baby just changed my whole plan, my whole life, and I didn't quite know what was going to happen. But these sponsors believed in me no matter what, and they're still behind me even today, 3 years back into trying to do this again. So, Discraft, Ledgestone, Putt Confidently, drive bags also. Hybridize, Amy Lewis, the girl I mentioned earlier, she does custom dies. If you're looking to get a custom die,
that's nice.
Amy is awesome, huh?
I said that's awesome.
Yes, she's awesome. She does great work, and she's always giving back to her community. So yeah, those are some of my supporters, and I'm grateful, and I wouldn't be here without them. Oh, and Sly Green from Colorado.
And Squatch, don't forget.
And
Squatch. I had a list.
Thank you, all of them. I have just so many supporters, and there's if you have a lot of money, you want to go buy a Squatch bag and support me, that's great. If you don't have a lot, come see me in person. I have little drive bags, stickers, anything. There's definitely a lot of ways that you can support me, and not only me, tons of other FPO and MPO players out on tour. If you have an opportunity to buy a disc and you can buy one with a pro tour, a tour player's name on it, or just a stock stamp. I know it's a little bit of money, but it's tough out here in this economy as a pro tour player. And there is a big disparity between the top players and everyone else. So support your local players, your favorite players, whether that's me or someone else. We're grateful, and we literally survive off of your stuff.
So you don't get paid as much as Gannon Bird?
Not quite. I think a little bit more than me.
I'm only kidding. But anyway, thank you so much. And I always tell people, I appreciate them so much because you can get back just about anything you give someone, but when you give someone your time, that's the one thing you can never get back. And I hope I made your time worth it today.
Of course, yeah, it's always fun talking about disc golf and reminiscing about the good old days of winning worlds.
All right, and that's all we got. And you guys have an incredible day.
All right, bye guys. Thank you.
Oh, that was